Welcome back to the JMA Wireless Dome ahead of the penultimate game of the regular season for Syracuse football. It's the Orange taking on the Huskies in just a few moments. Alongside Hudson Ridley, I'm Gino Antamarino. Now, Hudson, before we get into what's going to take place on the field, we got to talk about what's going on off the field. Today's injury report provided by the university and UConn is sponsored by Syracuse orthopedic specialists. Hudson, what you got?
Well, for Syracuse today, Dennis Jacquez Jr. back in the lineup for the first time since Pitt. The edge rusher has just one sack on the season against Stanford, but with a depleted SU line, could prove useful. On the other side, Nick Evers was dealing with an hip and toe injury the last time out against UAB. He split some time with Joe Fignano. Expect to see him starting, though, today.
Well, that was today's injury report as provided by the university and UConn and sponsored by Syracuse orthopedic specialists. All right, UConn won the toss and has deferred to the second half. Syracuse will receive, and the ball placed on the 35 on the far hashes. Chris Freeman out there to boot the kick for UConn. As he approaches the ball and boots it end over end towards the Syracuse end zone, and it's going to drop for a touchback. So Syracuse will start things off at its own 25.
UConn fired up, leaving the sideline. Gino, 7-3 this year, one of their better seasons in program history. They have a chance to make a statement today.
First time since 2010, UConn has finished the season with a winning record. With Kyle McCord and his offense move from right to left. McCord in the gun. Allen stands off his right hip. Ball is placed at the 25. 1st and 10. McCord claps his hands, gets the ball. Looks right, slings it down the far sideline. He has a man. It's caught. Gill brought down inside the 25 of UConn's end. What a start for the Orange. That didn't take any time. Darryl Gill inside the numbers on the far side. Just over the shoulder, Kyle McCord put that ball in a basket. 1st and 10. Ball is spotted at the 22 in UConn's end.
That was knowing your personnel. Held Gill one-on-one on the outside, just a streak route, beat him over the top. Ball in a basket for him.
McCord in the gun. One receiver on either side. McCord takes it. Play action, looks towards the near side of the end zone, caught, touchdown, Oronde Gadsden! 2 plays and Syracuse is on the board as Gadsden spikes the ball in the end zone. 6-0 the Orange lead, pending the extra point. What a start for the Orange as Jackson Kennedy lines up for the extra point. The snap, the hold, the kick, and it's good. 7-0 Syracuse on top with 14:10 left to go in the first quarter. A 22-yard catch by Oronde Gadsden in the end zone. And Hudson, one of the storylines we were talking about heading into this game, McCord right there and taking Ryan Nassib for passing yards in the season. He might get that after a hot start.
Oh, certainly, and he's only one touchdown away from tying Nassib's record. That play right there was beautifully designed. It's an RPO that they've been running all season, which Gadsden, who's the X receiver, usually goes on a slant inside. He did that. McCord pulled the ball, and he did what's called a sluggo, a slant and go. Slanted in, went up top, go ball. He threw him a fade, back shoulder to the pylon. Beautiful catch. Syracuse, incredible execution. 2 plays, 75 yards. Didn't take much time off the clock.
What an explosive start. Darryl Gill, a 53-yard catch and run to begin the drive. Capped off by Oronde Gadsden, getting the touchdown nab. All right, ball is placed on the 35 near hashes as Kennedy approaches and boots it away. And it lands in the end zone for a touchback. So UConn starts at its own 25, and Syracuse coming on the field. They're pumped up. They're waving to the fans. We want to hear you.
The crowd here for Senior Day, a pretty solid one. Of course, Thanksgiving break just starting for the students, so there really is no student section here today. It's mostly friends, family, and of course, the SU faithful.
Joe Fignano to start things off at QB for UConn. Remember, we talked about Fignano and Nick Evers both sharing reps at quarterback. Fignano takes the snap, handoff right up the gut, and a pickup of about 2 or 3 from Darrell Robinson.
Don't be surprised if they alternate back and forth all day. Like we said before the game, Evers is more of that running quarterback. Fignano they have in to sling the ball.
2nd down and 8. Ball at the 27 in the Huskies' end. Fignano in an empty set, 3 receivers to the right. Fignano takes the snap. Screen pass over to his right. It's hauled in by Sheffield, and he's pushed out of bounds along the near side, a few yards short of the line to gain. A minute and a half played in this first quarter. Syracuse up 7-0 after a quick strike from Gadsden to begin things.
They're just trying to get something going. Syracuse has a good ability to lock down deep with those safeties, so they're trying to get their playmakers in space on screens.
Fignano stands in the gun. To his right, Skylar Bell, someone to keep an ear out for. Bell in motion towards the near side. Fignano, an empty set, takes the snap. Looks towards the near side. It's batted down by Murad Watson for Syracuse, and he gives the leash celebration. Not to be punny with the Huskies, but more of a car seatbelt.
Say they got him on a collar, perhaps.
4th down and 4 after the Syracuse stop. UConn set to punt it away at its own 31. The snap and the boot from Connor Stutz, end over end for Trevor Pena to field it inside the 25. Makes a man miss, heads from the far side to the near, and he's wrapped up and grappled down along the far hashes at the Syracuse 30.
So very effective first drive for Syracuse, Gino. They can keep that momentum going.
Absolutely. All right. With that, we'll take a quick step aside. Syracuse football up big time after a great start, 7-0 over UConn. You won't want to miss it. You're listening to Syracuse football on the original home of the Orange, WAER.
Today's broadcast is brought to you in part by our members and our sponsors.
Welcome back to the JMA Wireless Dome. 9:37 left to go in the third quarter. Syracuse up 21-14 over UConn. Alongside my good partner Hudson Ridley, I'm Gino Antamarino. Hudson, a few moments ago, a kid race on the field, and this was the loudest the Dome has been this second half.
No, especially because 2 of the kids in the middle got off to the fastest start I think I've ever seen. We talk about speedsters on this team like Malachi James, a 10.1 100-meter dash. Boy, some of those kids could keep up with that.
I don't think I could.
No, not at all.
UConn trying to come back in this ball game. The offensive unit takes over at its own 40. And Joe Fignano stands in the pistol. Darrell Robinson, the lone running back, stands 2 yards behind him. 2 receivers split out wide on the far side. Man in motion, Skylar Bell. Fignano takes the snap, play action, immediately pressured by Diggs, who wraps him up and drags him down. Fadil Diggs immediately coming in, dragged Fignano around the shoulders and dragged him down. Brings up 2nd down for the Huskies.
You want to talk about a game wrecker. He just blew up the combo of the left tackle and tight end in that formation and bulldozed his way to Fignano. Pure strength.
Fignano resets in the gun. Robinson off his right hip. 2nd down and 17 now for the Huskies. Under 9 minutes in the third. Fignano, play action. Whips it over the middle, way over the head of Gathings, who leapt up into the air. Ball incomplete. Landed around the 40-yard line of Syracuse's end.
Davion Kerr being hyped up by Fran Brown after being close on the stop there. If you throw high over your receiver in the middle of the field, that is what they call a hospital pass. But Gaithing's unbothered.
The Dome crowd up to its feet. Third down for the Huskies, and a long way to go. 3rd and 17 at its own 33. Fignano in the gun, bunch formation to the far side. Fignano sends out Bunkman, takes the snap, steps up in the pocket, slings it over the middle. It's almost picked off by Syracuse. Ball drops incomplete. That ball went through the hands of several Syracuse defensive backs. Fignano stepped up in the pocket, faced pressure, but couldn't deliver. Devin Grant was there for the Orange, got a hand on it. So 4th down for UConn, 17. They send out the punting unit.
Will the Orange pull out any more rabbits from out of their hat? Find out on the original home of the Orange, WAER.
Well, we'll just have to find out if Syracuse has any more rabbits to pull out of its hat. Up 21-14 with 8.5 minutes to go in the 3rd quarter. Kyle McCord and his offensive unit go out to take the field. Ball at its own 25. 3 receivers spread out to the far side. McCord in the pistol, Allen the tailback. The one lone receiver stands to the near side. It's Jackson Meeks. As Max Mang in motion from the far slot to the offensive line. Whistle blows, flag flies as we wait to see what the call is.
False start, offense, number 55. 5-yard penalty, first down.
Josh Aloa, the guilty party for the Orange. And so they'll have to come back a little bit.
Just saw Jandre Reed, the other center, get checked out for a second on the sideline, but he was up and running back to the bunch of Syracuse offensive players on the near sideline.
4th offensive penalty of the day for Syracuse. McCord resets, 1st down and 15 at its own 21-yard line. McCord in the gun, Allen to his right hip. Claps his hands, gets the ball, 2-step drop back. Whips it over the middle. He's got Meeks, who leaps up, makes the grab. Tries to head upfield, but he's wrapped up tightly and put to bed by Cam Chadwick.
Working the middle is working very well for Syracuse.
It seems like it, Hudson.
There's a lot underneath that some of these linebackers just cannot cover. You're asking guys that are more tackling linebackers at your Mike spots. Jaden McDonald does not have a lot of lateral side-to-side speed, and they're killing him underneath.
2nd down and 5 at its own 31. McCord out of the gun, handoff Allen. Jukes from right to left, springs forward, and he's dragged down by his shoelaces. A couple of yards past the line of scrimmage. Brings up 3rd down for the Orange. Amari Hatcher takes the field for Syracuse. One of the few receivers, Hudson, that doesn't have a catch in this game, but we've definitely seen him out there a few times.
He's played some snaps, but they look for him as a deep ball threat.
3rd and 3 at Syracuse's own 33. McCord out of the gun, takes the snap, looks Meeks. He's got him on the flat on the outside. He's got the 1st down and Greengrass ahead over the midfield line, and he spun down to the turf inside the 45 of UConn's end. McCord was thinking Meeks all the way, move the sticks. 1st down and 10 at the UConn 43 with 7 minutes to go until the end of the 3rd.
Syracuse showed them one thing, went the other way, stacked the box, and everybody exploded out. And that's how Meeks got to the flat so quick with nobody on him.
McCord in the gun, takes the snap, handoff Allen, jolts his way up the middle, has some blockers, rumbles about 5 or 6 yards before he steamrolled to the turf, a few yards short of the 1st down marker.
Syracuse running a mix of tempo and taking their time, but one thing is clear, they're not huddling.
McCord lines up in the gun, 6:18 left to go, 2nd down and 4 at the UConn 37. McCord, play action, slings it near side, it's called at the chest by Gill, gets the 1st down and more, and he's brought down at the 5-yard line. Darryl Gill, have yourself a day. His 8th catch of the afternoon. for over 130 yards. First down and 5. Rather, first down and goal at the UConn 5. Whistles blow.
The previous play is under further review to see if the runner stepped out of bounds, running down the sideline.
And so that replay monitor, Hudson, continues to get some action as we take a peek on the instant replay monitor. Gill's left cleat might have just touched the white paint along the boundary.
Yeah, I hope that monitor doesn't run on batteries because they're going to need a refresh here soon. It was very close. The replays that they're giving in the dome are not including his feet. So that is a bit of an interesting decision as of right. They cut to one where they are showing his feet on the sideline. He tiptoes ever so close to that line, but from every angle that they've been showing so far, that left foot.
Oh, it's close. And it helps too that Gill's wearing a white cleat too, which blends into the paint.
It is razor
That's a tough
thin.
call.
That is about by a couple black beads of turf. Not even, maybe one that separates his foot from the sideline. Either way, it's a first down Syracuse. If he stepped out of bounds, it would be around the 17-yard line, 23-yard line rather. That's where it would be. If not, he would be inside the 10. We wait the call from the refs upcoming.
After further review, the ruling on the field stands. First down.
Well, there you go. First and goal for the Orange at the UConn 5. Syracuse still in a huddle, trying to talk things over with its offensive unit. 5:43 left to go in the third quarter. As the defensive personnel for UConn now take the field. McCourt lines up in I formation, takes the snap, handoff, LaQuinn Allen jukes from right to left, and he's brought down at the line of scrimmage. And with that, LaQuinn Allen, first all-time in carries in a single season.
Passing Larry Zonka, too. That's a good indication for Syracuse.
A lot of milestones in this game, Hudson. I don't know who gets the game ball. There's so many to give out.
Oh, my goodness. I mean, yeah.
Kind of the mementos.
Everybody breaking records. You'd have to imagine, though, if McCord slings a touchdown for that single season record, that with the yards record and the touchdown record, it'll be in his possession.
2nd and 5. McCord under center, takes the snap, rolls out to his right. Looks for options, goes back corner end zone, way over the head of Arande Gadsden. And so an incomplete pass stops the clock at 4:45 left in this third quarter. Third down for the Orange, and if you're Syracuse, Hudson, what's maybe one of the calls that the Orange should run here?
I don't hate when they go 5 wide in the red zone. A lot of teams, it can be tough to do that because the windows get so condensed, but Syracuse, with the motion that Jeff Nixon uses, creates a lot of mismatches at certain times. So they tried that on the play action. It was a boot rollout, didn't get it. Now, I'd expect them to spread this out a lot more.
3rd and goal at the UConn 5. McCord out of the gun, takes the snap, rolls out to the far side, has pressure, slings it back corner end zone over the head of Meeks. And so 4th down for Syracuse. Back-to-back plays where McCord took the snap, rolled out to his right immediately. But UConn did an excellent job of forcing that pressure. And McCord just didn't have that much time to get the throw off.
His initial reads were to the left, didn't have anything. Wasn't even a design rollout. Pocket wasn't collapsing. He just tried to find more windows on that right side. But when you roll out, it condenses the field, and he couldn't find anybody.
13-yard field goal attempt for Jackson Kennedy. The snap, the hold, the kick, and it's good. Kennedy's missed 2 field goals in today's game, but they made no mistake about it on that one. Increases Syracuse's lead 24-14 with about 4.5 minutes to go in the third quarter. All right, we're going to send it to break, but you won't want to miss it. Syracuse coming down to the wire with UConn, and so stick around You're listening to Syracuse football on the original home of the Orange, WAER.
Today's broadcast is brought to you in part by our members and our sponsors.